Yes, we can.
Right. So, hi everyone. Thank you for joining. Who am I? I am Stefan, technical lead at Innovatech, and I am here to talk to you about Aristotle. But before we get to Aristotle, let me just give you a bit of a background of who we are and what we do. So, we're an Irish-based company with a strong Caribbean flavor. We originally specialize in project management software, helping large organizations in various industries to really cut the fat and efficiently execute on their projects. But there was this burning hole in that while we were able to help companies with the execution of the projects that they decided, some of the projects just weren't worth executing upon, right? And there is a clear lack of or inefficient prioritization of what needed to actually be done. So, what is Aristotle, right? We're a SaaS company solution that focuses on helping our customer make big decisions better, right? We blend industry standards for decision making with a wide range of tools and visualizations, of course, all powered by AI. Um, let's just take a quick look at some of the snippets of the software, right? So up here, you'll see a listing, and here you add whatever needs to be prioritized or have decisions made upon, right? Which could be projects, again, that you need to execute upon, or products, as in which things you should bring to the market, or vendors that are best for a particular contract. And here you can see a visualization after the items have been processed. And speaking of the processing, um, this is how we actually process or rank or prioritize our items. We use a scorecard up here, which is a set of weighted considerations, or as we call them, criteria, across two axes. And as you will see when we get to the solution, right after this, once you give it an app description, it actually generates a scorecard for you. You know, generative AI being big thing these days, right? We also have AI-powered scoring, as you can see, where you kind of speak to the system and it, just like an individual, asks you questions based on the criteria or considerations that you and your organization use to rank the items that you want. Right? So why use us, aside from everything that I've said just now? Um, we kind of help you to make data-driven decisions, which avoids the subjectivity of individuals and just generally tend to be better. We have a suite of scenario planning tools, and we have a lot of cool stuff that we will be showing during this, again, all powered by AI. Uh, so use cases, right? We have actually deployed and used this already in a bunch of different domains, aside from projects such as vendor selection, HR, and as you'll see today, um, products, right? So before we get to the end, let me just give you a very high level overview of what we look like. Um, we have kind of three main components. Data streams. This is where we kind of ingest your existing data from your platform or whatever. User input. These are for more subjective things where you don't really have hard data for, such as how risky is something to bring to market or something like that. And the AI, which kind of interacts with both your existing data and you, the user, to kind of bring everything together and give you an output of its own, right? And again, today we're going to be looking at products, right? So right after this, we will be going through an example of FMCG, wherein we will show you how to use the tool to optimize your product portfolio. All right. And that is about it. Very quick, very fast. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, you can reach out to myself or one of our sales lead, Amanda Surge Valley. She is much more pleasant to speak to than me. So please reach out to her. All
Yes.
right. And with that, I will hand you over to another very pleasant person,
Yeah.
Usha Mangal, who will be doing our demo. All
Yes, thank you,
right.
Stefan. Yes, thank you. So, hi everyone. Thank you for giving us the time today. Just give me a moment to share my screen. All right. Can you
Yeah,
all
we
see
can see
my
your
screen?
screen.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to hide this. Sorry, I clicked something.
No worries, Usha.
All right.
Problems
Okay,
are the
great.
bane of live technical demos.
Yes, okay. So again, thanks everybody for joining and giving us the time today. So as Stefan gave you all an intro into Aristotle, I'm gonna give you a walkthrough in about 10 minutes of the solution and how it can be used to help you decide what products to pursue, which products are best to invest in, and which products are best for you to maximize your revenue. Okay. So what you see here essentially is the view of Aristotle's solution. In a nutshell, what the system does, it allows you to load in all of your prospective products and then rank them according to criteria that are specified by you. Or you can use our AI generation tool, which helps you generate scorecards, generate criterias, and then you can use those to score your products and decide which ones are better, right? Here, what you see is like a list of all of the products. So in a nutshell, this is like the products here that you're going to score. And then we have scorecards, which we will go into later, which is essentially a combination of criterias that are layered accordingly. And then it's shown on our quick decision matrix that allows you to see the best projects, which usually are to the top right side, which is the green section here. You'll be able to see the best products to proceed with. Okay, this appeared again. Okay, right? So that is in a nutshell what the system does. Now to understand how Aristotle really works, we're going to go a little more in deep so that you can understand how the system can work for you. Okay? So in order to rank your products, you must have your criterias and your scorecards loaded, right? Now, what are criterias and what are scorecards? Criterias are essentially one item that you will use or a description that you will use to score these products, right? And a scorecard is a combination of these criterias. So to understand this better, let's look at a scorecard, right? So let's create a scorecard. Now, you may think this might be a daunting task, it'll take a while, but no, because we have our AI generation tool, which allows you to quickly enter in, like I have here, a quick description into my scorecard description section. One sec. FMCG products, okay? And this button here will allow you now to generate scorecards so that you don't have to think about it from scratch. It will generate these scorecards for you and then you can use them accordingly and merge them, combine them, however you like to make your best scorecard to score your products, okay? Now I
Right.
generated one, but I can generate more than one. Sorry, Steph, you were gonna interject.
Yeah, just gonna while you were generating the
Mhm,
different versions of the scorecard, I just
mhm,
wanna reiterate that this is not something that is very foreign to you, the consumer or your organization. A criteria is just a consideration that you have when choosing the best thing for you. So for your products, it might be things like the potential ROI or customer
mhm.
gain or things
I
like
can
that.
see that.
These are the all the considerations that you would practically think of when you are deciding what is best for you. And we kind of lay them across two axes, right? As you can see here. And we usually find it's best to think of these as kind of input and output. What does it cost you? And what will it benefit you,
Mhm,
essentially, right? So Usha has already gone ahead and generated, as you saw there, several different squads from
mhm.
scratch,
Yeah.
right? And she could pick and choose and switch between them, and look at and see because it also gives you ideas on okay, well I didn't consider this criteria, I didn't
Mhm.
consider this, and you kind of mix and match and pick what is best for you. All right, Usha, go ahead.
Yeah. So as Stefan said, we generated like three scorecards here. And I can, as he said, mix and match. So like I would have chosen this one as my base matrix. What that means is that I'm saying that all of these here, these criterias, like the financial benefits of the product, the revenue growth potential, ROI, financial returns, I'm saying that, okay, those are the criterias I want. But I can also look at the other scorecards that were generated. And if I want to pick one of those to add, I can actually add them to my base scorecard. So let's say I want to use customer satisfaction. I can click on it, and then this will also add it to my scorecard. So I can essentially mix and match all of these that I have here, these three. And of course, it's not limited to three, right? We can create more, and you can see the other options. But in the purpose of the demo today, I would show you a created scorecard, actually the one that we'll be using today in the rest of the demo. Okay. Also, just to mention, if you have any questions as we're going through the demo, feel free to interject and ask, okay? So I'm just going to come out of this now, and we're going to go through. I'm just going to show you what a completed scorecard looks like. Essentially, it will be a combination of the x-axis, right, and the y-axis, which essentially is the input and the output of the products, for example. And then we have on the right side here, the matrix preview, which is our decision matrix, which essentially tells you what best products to go forward with, what are the maybes, the no-goes, the avoid products based on the scoring. And that scoring will happen when you implement the scorecard into the view so that people can come in and score these items or these products so that you can know holistically which are the best products to proceed with. Okay?
Great.
Yeah. So this is our scorecards. So what have we gone through so far? Basically scorecards and criteria. Now that is essentially setting up the system, right? But now that you've set up your scorecard, you have to load in all of the products, and we will do that through the listing here. Now I have already preloaded in my products. As you can see here, we have a list of 34 products. Essentially, you can click on any of them to view the information in the product. Some may be scored already. Some may have been AI scored. Some may have been scored by some users. But we're going to use a new one that I would have created so that we can go through the flow. Okay. So let's look at this now. This is a product for muscle and pain rub ointment, essentially. This, as you can see, there's no scores by any of the AI yet. I did score this one already, but now I want to rescore it by using the AI. Okay. And how that works is by clicking on the AI scoring. And this will now look at the information in the product, and it will ask me certain questions if it needs clarification on some of the items I would have entered for this particular product.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Usha, while you go ahead and answer the questions, I could probably just talk
Yes, sure.
to the audience. Right. So this is using models under the hood that we have no control over to some degree. So the questions that you see here is not something that's pre-scripted, it's based on the information that you present. So for example, if you present a description that is apt enough, it will just score without asking anything at all. While she goes in there and types in the questions, have a little title. You'll see general there. That doesn't mean like a general of an army or anything like that. It just means the general AI is asking that question on behalf of all the other AI personalities, right? And that kind of segue into the AI personalities. We have the ability to have the AI kind of score based on different personalities. So it might be well and good to have, some generic thing there, but sometimes you might want something that is from the perspective of a developer or a project manager or a product manager or somebody in finance who's a bit more restrictive on these costs and spending and things like that. And as you can see here, at the bottom, it has scored on behalf of all of these things, all of these personalities. And if there was any dissenting scores, there doesn't seem to be any, you could actually hover over each cell and it will tell you why each one has given that particular consideration or criteria that score. So you can see exactly why the default AI has given it that score. But how about the sales? What does the sales say? The quotes here. All right, so sufficient resources to get confident for market introduction. All right, so it can be descending, but it gives a reason to back up exactly why. So it's very, very transparent in that way. Yes is somewhat of a black box, but it also explains to you why it gave these scores. All right, Lucia?
Yep. Thank you, Steph. So now that the AI have scored the items, I can now use that info to help me score the item also. So now that I can, as you can see, it would have previously been scored 2.8, 3.0 for resourcing and availability and revenue and benefits. So I'm just gonna, just show you how to score it. It's pretty simple here. I can just input my info, score it accordingly. And when I click Save Scores, it will update the overall scores, the average scores, and it will also update the overall my scores, as now I've updated my scoring information, right? So just to recap what we've done so far, we've looked at criterias, we've created and viewed a scorecard, and we've also used our AI functionality to score the items using our AI personas, which essentially scores the item on behalf of, let's say, a project manager, a salesperson, or a product manager. And we've also scored the items now as a user, right? As a scoring or someone from, let's say, a committee that looks at all of the products to decide which is the best product to proceed with, right? So the
Right. So just
next,
to interject one more time.
Mhm.
So in this example, for the purpose of the demo, we used manually scored criteria, but there are many instances where we actually have automatically calculated criteria scores based on certain rules that the organization has implemented. So for example, if a budget is over, um, 10 million or something like that, we want to score it lower. Or if it's over 100 million, we want to give it a score of 1 because it's very bad and very expensive. Or the ROI is very, very low given the cost, we give it a low score. And these are all rules that can be implemented in the system. But for the purpose of the demo and transparency, we've done manual scoring today. All right?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Steph. So
Mhm.
now that we've scored the items, we can now look at our decision matrix. Some items, like I say, would have been scored before, just for the purpose of the demo also. So let's go to our decision matrix now. And this is where all the magic happens, essentially. After you score all of the items, this is your finished product, where you can now see all of the best products to go ahead with. Essentially, it will be shown on the top right-hand side here in the green quadrant. And in this here, it allows you to, let's say, zoom in into the ones that are top right, so that you can see those with a closer eye and decide which ones you want to actually go ahead with. Of course, there are the ones in the other sections, the other quadrants, but the best ones, if you're interested in those with this particular solution, Aristotle, that's what we'll be able to give you, that you can easily see after scoring the best products to proceed with. And I can now hover and I can zoom in and I can see all of these here, right? I'm seeing hair moisturizer, I'm seeing hair mask, hairspray, and lots of hair care products at the top, which means that that seems to be the market that we can target right now, which would be hair products essentially. So what I can do now that I've selected those, I can actually go into manage selected and we can approve some of these so that they can be added as approved and actually go forward into manufacturing stage, for example, right? So let's see, let's select all proposed and I can choose some of these here, heat protective hair care line. Let's select a few. Um, the one that I just scored and I'm gonna click. We have some options here, which is open selected, email selected. So if you select a few and you want to share it with someone, you can share it, or you can approve them directly or reject the ones that you would have selected. But of course, for our case right now, we will approve it, right? So I'm gonna click approve selected, and these will now change into status approved, okay? And it will also be reflected on the uh, decision matrix here, right? And I can reset the zoom to see everything back to how it was before, right? So that allows you to sort of decide which products you want to manufacture or to go forward with. Additionally to that, we also have the ability after you've chosen these products, you can actually go back to the listing and you can export it or send it via email or send to Microsoft Project so that these can actually be used listed in order for it to be actually started in production, right? Um, so that basically covers the use of the system. The last thing would be our reporting, which gives you an overall of all of the information that is in the system, right? Of course, our reporting is dependent on what you would like. So we are able to build the reports on demand based on the products, based on the information in the system, the different scorecards. We're able to build your reporting accordingly. Okay, so that basically covers it for the demo part of the session today. Do we have any questions? I'll open up the floor now for questions.
Right, and while we just, we are waiting questions, guys, please, at any point in time, send a message or raise your hand. There's a lot of things that we actually haven't shown here. So if we should just went back to the decision matrix for 1 second,
Mhm.
there's a lot of scenario planning where you could actually adjust the weighting of these things live, for example, and recalculate and see how the projects or products move as you make something more important than the other. From Amanda at Aristotle. There's Amanda. Right, so Usha, if you just
Mhm.
changed it
Change
to
one.
like maybe
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
or something and just
And
hit
recalculate.
recalculate,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you actually see how the products or what you want can move. So this could be very good while speaking to a bunch of stakeholders. What if we value cost more? What if we value our brand perception twice as much as everything else? And you can kind of look and see, okay, if we look at these things a lot more, these products or projects kind of trickle up or trickle down based on what we value, right? There's a lot of things that we haven't shown. Um, But again, at the interest of time, you could go through a much more in-depth demo. If you'd like, just reach out to Amanda, myself, or even Usha,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, there's a lot of integrations, as Usha would have shown with MPP and things like that.
Yeah.
Even the listing itself can be populated quite easily
Or
with
import it. Yeah.
through a CSV dump or something like that,
Mhm.
or connect to your sheets
Mhm.
if you manage in sheets, which you should not. Please don't. And
Just to add to what Steph is saying is that the purpose of this demo is really to give you a high level overview of the solution. However, we can schedule any specific session with someone and give you a much more in-depth um, view into the solution and what it can do for you and your product management team.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm, Is there any questions? I can't see.
Let me check the chat. No, I think that's just Amanda sending her email.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Um, well, guess if that is it, guys. Amanda's contact is in the chat, right? Amanda Surge Bali at innotecenterprises.com. You can reach
Also
out to her,
follow us on LinkedIn.
right? Follow us on LinkedIn, find us on Facebook, right?
YouTube.
And YouTube, right? And our website, aristotle-intelligence.ai. AI.ai, kinda. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. Hope you found it useful, and we'll be seeing each other again, hopefully. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.